Come here, say hi. You wanna come here, say hi? Say hi. No. Say hi. Hola guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Roxanne. If it's your first time here, then welcome. Today I want to talk to you guys about the books that I've recently acquired. I am super excited because I got 11 books here throughout the past few weeks, I think, and 8 of the 11 are actually diverse reads, so I'm very excited about that. I think it's just a kind of continuous goal of mine to make my bookshelves as diverse as possible, to broaden my horizons as much as possible, to read the stories of people who are both like me and unlike me, and so I'm just very excited to show you guys. Let's actually start with the nonfiction. So I have 2 here. I have This Will Be My Undoing by Morgan Jurgens. Actually, this is signed, which is awesome. It is signed, so that's always awesome. And this is a debut essay collection about being Black, female, and feminist in white America. So it's living, it says the subtitle is Living at the Intersection of Black, Female, and Feminist in White America. And so it's a debut collection of essays, and I am very, very excited about it. It was blurbed by Roxanne Gay, who is awesome. That's pretty much all I need to know. And the other nonfiction that I got is Dr. Mooter's Marvels, a true tale of intrigue and innovation at the dawn of modern medicine. So by Kristen O'Keefe Aptowitz. So this is about Dr. Thomas Dent Mooter, who was a mid-19th century plastic surgeon who revolutionized the way that we do medicine. He started using things like anesthesia and things like that. So the cover is amazing. First of all, that's really what caught my eye. First of all, it has pictures, and I'm just very interested. I was with Lewis at the bookstore. We're looking at the medicine section, and this was there, and it just really caught my eye. I would like to read more science nonfiction, and yeah, why not start with some medical nonfiction? So then I was very, very nice of Zoraida Cordova to send me the next book in her Brooklyn Brujas series called Bruja Born. This one is being released in June of 2018. Let's see. This one focuses on, so it's the following to Labyrinth Lost. This one focuses on Alex, and this one focuses on her sister Lula. So I'm very excited about this one, and you might have already seen this one in my March TBR, which was The Color Purple by Alice Walker. If you guys watched my TBR for the Book Riot Read Harder Challenge, this is one of the books that I'm picking for that one. I think it's the very last topic, which is read a book that you hated or never finished or something like along those lines back in when you were in school or in high school. And this is a book that of a list of books that we were supposed to pick one from to read during the summer, and I picked The Old Man and the Sea for whatever reason. I think just because it was the shortest of all of them. But I really wish I would have chosen this one. So this is I'm finally getting around to it. It is the story of 2 sisters, one a missionary to Africa and the other a child wife living in the South, who remain loyal to one another across time, distance, and silence. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this book, and I'm ready to have my heart broken because I feel like it's one of those books. Then I got one that's being talked about all over BookTube and Bookstagram, and it's The Wedding Date by Jasmine Guillory. This is about a medical student, I think, or a doctor, and a woman who meet in an elevator and decide to fake being together to go to a wedding that one of the two has to go to. And it just sounds like it's gonna be lots of fun. And so I got this one, and it features an interracial couple because I believe the woman is Black and the doctor is white, if I'm not mistaken. Then I got Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. This would be my first Octavia Butler, and I'm very excited about that one. This is also for my Book Riot Read Harder Challenge for, I believe, a book that's like definitive of a genre. or something. And I think this is science fiction technically, because it has it's about a woman who continues to travel back in time. It's a woman in modern day America who continues to travel somehow back in time, the antebellum South. So I think this is another one that's really going to just be amazing, life-changing, and hopefully the first of many Octavia Butlers that I will go on to read. Then if you watched my review of If We Were Villains by ML Rio, this one, and I'll link it up above and down below as well, you heard me say that that book managed to do something that I never thought any book or any person would make me do, and that is to get interested in Shakespeare. So I had no idea where to start with Shakespeare whatsoever. So after getting many answers from many different websites and comment sections and people and articles, I just decided to do this. Goodreads had this chart essentially of where you should start with Shakespeare, and it said, had you read him before, yes or no, and then it kind of like you answer different questions and it lands you on different books. So it landed me on Romeo and Juliet and Twelfth Night. I think this is a comedy, and then obviously we all know what Romeo and Juliet is about. So I read Shakespeare back in high school. Are you serious? Look at this. That is a sticker in the middle of a freaking page. Thanks a lot, Barnes and Noble. But I mean, that's just dumb. Who did that? I got these. These are the Barnes and Noble Shakespeare editions, which are nice, and I thought, you know, if I get more then they can all match, which would be cool. So we read a few of his plays during high school, but I never paid attention. I don't know how I passed or like did remotely well on those exams or essays or whatever it was that I had to do for them. I don't remember and crap about any of them. So the book did such a good job of conveying a passion that these students have for Shakespeare that I figured let's give it a try and see how I get on with it. So I got those two. I happened to come across this article that said 365 women that you should read, and it was just a list of different authors that you should read for Women's History Month, but it said it gave you 365 of them. So I don't know if you guys follow me on Twitter, or I may have mentioned on here many times, I'm trying very hard to make a very active effort to read more Latinx fiction, and very specifically Puerto Rican authors, because I know very little about them. I know very few of them, and I know very little about them, and I've read very little Puerto Rican literature. And so what I was doing mostly was clicking on any name that sounded like it was in Spanish. I would click on it, and I had like 100 tabs open. And one of the women that I clicked on just completely by chance was Rosario Ferrer. And so I went to her Goodreads page and found out that she's actually from my hometown. She's from Ponce, Puerto Rico, which, to say that I was excited and to say that I felt this just like incredible sense of excitement and happiness to know that a woman from Puerto Rico, from my hometown, made a list of women that people should read was, I don't know, it was just such an incredible feeling. So literally probably the worst thing you could do, but whatever. I just went on Abe Books because it was the only place that had multiple copies of different books of hers. I grabbed the three that seemed to be the most popular, and they seem to have good reviews, and they seem to be right up my alley. I just bought them. Like, I just automatically bought them, and I'm very excited. So I have the three right here. The first is Sweet Diamond Dust and Other Stories. This is a collection of stories that uses family history to discuss class struggle and political struggles within the Latin American within Latin America, Latin American history, and then very specifically in Puerto Rico because that's where she's from. So this is a short collection of stories that I'm very excited about, and I mean, that just sounds exactly like my thing. Oh, this is what she looks like. So this one is Eccentric Neighborhoods, and this one is about, this was actually a National Book Award finalist, which was very exciting to find out. It tells the story of two families whose lives, loves, and steamy intrigues coincided with the demise of Puerto Rican's plantation society and the rise of nouveau riches. I don't know how to say that. It's in French. Elvira Vernet comes from a male-dominated family of merchants living in the Puerto Rican town of La Concordia. Her father, Santiago Vernet, and his 4 sons helped transform Puerto Rico from a bucolic island where hunger is a part of the landscape into a bustling industrial society with all of its contradictions and attendant ills. Handsome, eloquent, and enormously successful, he can't help but charm his only daughter. Yet, in understanding her obsession with her father, Elvira must first come to terms with her mother, who died many years before, and whose family, the Rivas de Santillanas, had roots in an old plantation culture that could not survive the era of mechanization. Eccentric Neighborhoods is an attempt to lay bare the psychological conflicts that determine the relationships between mothers and daughters, and it is also the story of Puerto Rico's transformation from the beginning of the century into a spearhead of the Caribbean. Lush, vibrant, and disarmingly funny, Eccentric Neighborhoods confirms Rosario Ferrer's reputation as one of the most colorful and captivating novelists in the Latin American tradition. Actually, from the two that I've shown you so far, it really seems like the types of stories that she writes is taking family dynamics and using them as metaphors for different aspects of the Puerto Rican culture or Puerto Rican history and Latin American history in general, which is amazing because really, I mean, if you know at all the type of book that I love and read, that's it right there. And then last but not least is The House on the Lagoon, and this one is about it is the story of Quintín Mendizábal, it doesn't have an accent, Mendizábal, and his wife Isabel Montfort. Isabel, a fledgling novelist, is writing a multi-genre novel about the history of their families of Spanish and Corsican origins and their arrival in Puerto Rico. Her ambition is great, but her sense of history comically weak. When Quintín, who happens to be a historian, finds her manuscript, he begins to write alternate chapters expressing his own point of view. Isabel colorfully weaves a tapestry of life among the ruling classes of Puerto Rico, with their passionate debates about independence, statehood, racism, their links to Spain and Europe, and their ambivalence towards the United States. But as she draws a self-portrait of her marriage as well, it becomes clear that her relationship with her husband is far from picture perfect. Quintín becomes incensed at Isabel's version of events, at her audacity in writing a book, and an autobiographical one at that, and Isabel in her struggle to forge a new identity and free herself from her coercive marriage and the constraints of the culture precipitates a conflagration that threatens to consume the entire family. A shattering story of love, death, and privilege and servitude, The House on the Lagoon is a brilliant evocation of Puerto Rico in the 20th century. So again, here we go, a family, and this used as a metaphor for the history of Puerto Rico. I think that I'm gonna fall in love with her, and I cannot wait. Like, I physically cannot wait to get into these books. I'm like in the middle of 4 right now. So I'm gonna wait, but I'm so excited that I found her. Oh my gosh, guys, I don't think you understand how excited I am. So those are the books that I have recently acquired. Let me know if you've read any of them and what you think. Let me know any books that you've recently acquired. As always, thank you for watching and for listening. I love you guys very, very much.